everybody, this is Stitch from the podcast formerly known as The Hanger Dog. I say triple snaps and top notch to the Jimmy Doane Show for making it through 200 episodes, glorious episodes. Apparently, Jimmy can keep it up longer than Gene. Peace out.
Hello there, this is Jimmy Doane again, the Jimmy Doane Show, and the website is jimmydoane.com, and Twitter is @JimmyDoane. And I have a YouTube channel, which I guess is called, I forget what it's called, Jimmy Doane. Anyway, it's up there. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. We'll get that on the show notes. Anyway, I thought I'd give a short rant right now about, there was an article about AI speeches. And apparently, people have been working on AI speeches for a while so that I guess people don't have to sit down and write them. And actually, I thought it was, who needs these? One of the things that you do find is that, especially with government pronouncements, they all do sound the same. And I think that they've already got all their major speeches memorized. They're called talking points, and they don't need any AI agent to tell them what to say or to rearrange it or anything. They all have basically the same thing. It's what I call cloud speech. That is to say, it's like a big empty cloud from a comic book up above their head, except it's empty. There's a jumble of letters and words in there and paragraphs, but basically it's a way to say almost nothing with using a whole lot of words. And I thought it was interesting that several years ago, I couldn't find it, but Dave Barry had written a piece on fill in the blanks type speeches. He had said he wrote, I guess, about a paragraph and a half with various blanks, and you fill in with noun goes here, verb goes here, et cetera, and so forth, and basically the thing wrote itself and could be adapted to almost anything. But anyway, the article says, soon the speeches we hear from political figures may be the product of an AI machine that has been specifically designed to write political discourses. As I said, I'm not sure there's going to be much market here for this because they already speak like robots anyway. It turns out there seems to be a formula for writing these speeches. For instance, political speeches are similar and have a standard format. I just said that. Anyway, this guy at the University of Massachusetts Amherst took all this stuff into consideration, and he made an AI machine to rival human speech writers. In this report, present a system that can generate political speeches for a desired political party, he wrote. Furthermore, the system allows to specify whether the speech should hold a supportive or opposing position. After trying various database analyzing techniques, decided to use a method based on the n-grams approach. I have no idea. This is all technical stuff, and I'm going to skip through it. Next, he turned to 6 grams and tried to determine all the words, blah, blah, blah. And if you're curious to know if the machine can actually generate good speeches, here's an example. Mr. Speaker, for years, honest but unfortunate consumers have had the ability to plead their case to come under bankruptcy protection and have their reasonable and valid debts discharged. The way the system is supposed to work, the bankruptcy court evaluates various factors, including income, assets, and debt, to determine what debts can be paid and how consumers can get back on their feet. Stand up for growth and opportunity. Pass this legislation. So that's just a kind of an example. One of the things that I noticed, of course, was that he suggests the algorithm can also produce other types of texts, including news articles, which is something else that was the one that Dave Barry mentioned, and blog posts, which I think is kind of interesting, but mostly term papers. Boy, wouldn't this be great just to, you don't have to steal anymore. You put in a bunch of salient information about what you've glommed off of Google or whatever, and you dump it all into this can, and out comes your term paper. I think that's a fabulous idea. But here's one of my favorite speeches that is a political speech that kind of outlines this, and this has been memorized by many people and not by me, unfortunately. My friends, I had not intended to discuss this controversial subject at this particular time. However, I want you to know that I do not shun controversy. On the contrary, I will take a stand on any issue, anytime, regardless of how fraught with controversy it might be. You have asked me how I feel about whiskey. All right, and this is how I feel about whiskey. When you say whiskey, you mean the devil's brew, the poison scourge, the bloody monster that defiles innocence, dethrones reason, destroys the home, creates misery and poverty, yea, literally takes the bread from the mouths of little children. If you mean the evil drink that topples the Christian man and woman from the pinnacle of righteousness, gracious living in the bottomless pit of degradation and despair, and shame, helplessness, and hopelessness, then certainly I am against it. But if when you say whiskey, you mean the oil of conversation, the philosophic wine, the ale that is consumed when good fellows get together, that puts a song in their hearts and laughter on their lips and the warm glow of contentment in their eyes. If you mean Christmas cheer, if you mean the stimulating drink that puts the spring in an old gentleman's step on a frosty, crispy morning, if you mean the drink which enables a man to magnify his joy and happiness and to forget, if only for a little while, his great tragedies, heartaches, and sorrows. If you mean that drink, the sale of which pours into our treasuries untold millions of dollars, which are used to provide tender care for our little crippled children, our blind, our deaf, our dumb, and pitiful aged and infirm, to build highways and hospitals and schools, then certainly I am for it. This is my stand, and I will not retreat from it. I will not compromise. The end of that. So once again, we'll see this video on the YouTube channel, and come to the Jimmy Doane Show. We'll be posting as regular as we can. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.